Concerns over COVID.
Continue to be worried about the latest data.
The decline may be stalling as states race to vaccinate. Stuck in a South Florida sewer.
This was by far one of the most bizarre incidents that our officers have responded to.
A woman telling police she had been trapped there for days. And history in Boston as a new mayor takes the oath of office. It's all coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Zitlali Solache, and today is Thursday, March 25th, 2021.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
The COVID declines we've seen since the beginning of the year are showing signs of stalling. Several states, including Florida, are now in a hurry to put vaccine in arms and put a halt to a possible fourth surge. The network's Helen Acevedo reports from Miami.
COVID cases across the United States climbing.
I continue to be worried about the latest data.
The World Health Organization reports COVID deaths in a number of countries also going up.
We're not done with this pandemic.
But a year fighting the pandemic has left U.S. hospitals in shambles. According to a report from the Department of Health and Human Services Inspector General, medical workers suffer from burnout, trauma, and PTSD. Facilities are seeing higher turnover and staff shortages as hospitals attempt to stay afloat.
Discussing the morale of healthcare workers, the morale of the public, is the first step to really be addressing this crisis.
One shining light.
Hey, how are you?
Vaccinations.
We are now vaccinating between 16 and 20 million people a week.
And a growing number of states are expanding vaccine eligibility to anyone 16 years and older.
The problem is there's still a lot of very vulnerable people in these states that haven't gotten a shot at all.
Especially in communities of color.
This is a matter of life and death for a lot of us because we have seen our parents, our brothers, our church members, our neighbors, our co-workers die from COVID-19.
The Biden administration pledged to get COVID vaccines to the vulnerable, but as states work towards that goal, health experts continue to warn against another surge. Helen Acevedo, South Florida Media Network.
A scheduled court appearance later today for the suspected Boulder, Colorado mass shooter after the death of 10 victims. When Ahmad Al-Aliwi Alisa was arrested Monday, police say they found 2 semi-automatic weapons on him, including one he had purchased less than a week before the shooting. It hits really close to home for the families of the Parkland shooting victims.
Listening to the daughter, Mahoney, talk about her dad, a daughter who talked about it being walked down the aisle and her dad won't ever get to meet her baby. And I don't ever get to walk my baby down the aisle because she's dead. I won't ever get to meet her grandchildren because she won't have them because of gun violence.
Jamie Guttenberg, the daughter of Fred Guttenberg, died in the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School mass shooting on Valentine's Day in 2018. A new target date this morning for a return to passenger cruises. The Cruise Line International Association had been asking to lift a no-sail order just in time for summer, but the CDC announced yesterday that they will not be lifting the ban. The association's new plan is to ask the White House to lift the order by early July, which is when President Biden said things were likely to go back to normal. A woman is back above ground this morning after she told police she was trapped in a South Florida sewer for days. 43-year-old Lindsay Kennedy was reported missing 3 weeks ago, and on Tuesday, someone heard her shouting for help from inside an 8-foot storm drain in Delray Beach. She couldn't say exactly how she got there. Her knees were scratched up, and she wasn't wearing any clothing when firefighters got to her.
This was by far one of the most bizarre incidents that our officers have responded to.
Out there, they did, in fact, to their surprise, find a woman stuck in that storm drain.
Who had been treated for mental illness in the past told them she found an unopened can of ginger ale and survived off that until she was rescued. Today, SpaceX Falcon 9 is in orbit after being successfully launched from Cape Canaveral. Yesterday's launch was the 6th launch of the Falcon 9. The rocket contains a 60 Starlink satellite that will provide internet around the world. It took off on the day that happens to be the 15th anniversary of the SpaceX first launch. A woman of color rises all the way to the mayor's office in Boston. That's still ahead, and so is this story.
I just basically got rid of all of my furniture in my living space.
Who needs a place to sit down when there's room to dance? A local woman shares her home studio makeover. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text to emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Happy Feet, a local dance studio owner, finds a way to satisfy her best customers and also cut down on her commute. Instead of letting COVID become a stumbling block, she turned it into a launching pad. And as the network's Jamilka Gibson reports, this entrepreneur has created an impressive home business in Homestead.
A South Florida woman has opened up her own at-home dance studio and is welcoming the public to join. After 23 years of teaching at Dance Empire of Miami, 47-year-old Tawana Hall decided to venture off and open her own business.
COVID had everyone all over the place, and I actually initially thought about it when we had to convert from in-house in studio. So we had to go and teach on Zoom. And then I was like, okay, this works. This makes sense. So why not do it in the comfort of my space?
Her company, Style Child Creations, offers apparel, styling consultations, and hip-hop dance training. Tawana redecorated her living room area to look more like a real dance studio.
I just basically got rid of all of my furniture in my living space. My dining room table, I gave it to some friends, some family members, and
replacing it with several mirrors and shock-resistant dance floors. And when the lights go down, her space turns into what she calls the magic box.
Classes, photo shoots, whatever. That is the magic box.
COVID guidelines are being followed to make sure that guests feel safe.
I felt really safe dancing at Style Child because the way she has it set up with everyone's in masks. The hand sanitizer on the wall, so we can use that.
Online and in-person classes are available for people ages 10 and up. However, interviews are required to be eligible for in-person classes. For more information, visit stylechildcreations.com. Reporting for the South Florida Media Network, Jamilka Gibson.
Kim Janey makes history as she is sworn in as the first person of color and first woman to be the mayor in Boston. In the ceremony in City Hall, Mayor Janey gave an optimistic speech. She vowed to increase COVID-19 testing and vaccination. Closing racial equity gaps was also mentioned. Mayor Janey saying it is a new day for Boston and she promises to strive and make a positive change. Zoo Miami welcomed its newest resident, a cute endangered baby rhinoceros. The calf is being slowly introduced to the public this week by spending short amounts of time on exhibit during the morning. The male rhino was born in February. The mother's name is Cirque, and this is her 4th birth. She and the calf's father, named Eddie, are both 21 years old. That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Zitlali Solache. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.